Hello YouTube, welcome to a new era in the YouTube world that is Richard Bellars Magic. I've decided, based upon inspiration and motivation from Eduard Todor, if you're not following him, the link is below, check it out. I'm trying to work harder. There's over 4,000 of you subscribing to the channel and I'm just really chucking a bit on every now and again. So I feel like now's the time to work hard and give you guys some content. So what I'll be doing in this episode is really giving you the thought process behind the story that led up to the Fooled performance. It sort of answers a few questions based upon a video that Eduard put out about how do you fool Penn Teller. So we'll all tie in as I go through the story. But before we go any further, I've got to make sure that you've seen this. It's not just a performance I'm talking about that you haven't seen. So I'm going to play an edited version. So it's about 4 minutes rather than the original 12, where you can watch, see the highlights of roughly what's going on and the reaction I got and the response that Penn Teller gave me. So sit tight. If you have seen it, this is about 4 minutes 26, I think, is the edit. So if you want to just scan forward, if you've seen it plenty of times, please do. If not, enjoy the performance and I'll see you in a mo.
Thank you and welcome back to Fool Us. And it's time for us to meet our next magician.
Richard Bellars.
Hi, I'm Richard Bellars. I've been doing magic for 22 years. The type of magic I perform is a mixture of either close-up, sleight of hand, or mind control. If you can imagine the Artful Dodger learned how to do magic, that's pretty much my style. Last time I was on the show, I got royally busted, mainly because I used an off-the-shelf trick. I was cheeky, I had a bit of fun.
First of all, the whole study of psychology and implanting thoughts in people's heads is bull.
And this time it will be different when I bring the best I've got to the table. I came up with the idea for this routine in a dream I had, and this time I will fool Penn Teller.
To try and fool Penn and Teller once is brave. To come back and try and do it again is verging on insanity. So please welcome the very nearly mad Richard Bellars.
The second game is more about using...
For Housey. Who likes house?
3.
Oh, there you go.
So Teller wins paper over rock.
Paper wins rock, beats rock every
Teller
time.
is our winner.
That was stressful.
Going after it.
Okay.
Okay, so let everyone see. I'm going to just take this off very fairly. If you can... There. Just pick that up and show them the laces, and they can see inside. Tip it up the other way.
Oh, man.
Inside there is a piece of paper.
There is.
And I want you to be very fair when you open that.
I have in my hands a piece
No
of
funny
paper.
biz.
Okay. That's quite hard.
I kind of predicted what would happen
Okay.
if you guys played darts, if you guys did some words. The dart score, what did we get?
Okay, I'm going to fold it over for maximum
okay, sure.
suspense. If you can see that there, it says darts. Penn scores 34. Teller scores 26.
Thank you very much. And then over here we have 2 words. So we've done Penn's word. What was your third on there?
If I move down, it says words. Penn's word, housey.
Housey.
Teller's word, toilet.
Thank you. But then it was a draw, so we had to do paper, rock, scissors, and Teller, you won the tie-break.
It's at the bottom. Teller wins.
I guess
Teller
dreams do
wins.
come true. I'll collect my winnings. Thank you very much.
He's got some wind. Guys, that's enough time, guys. I'm going to have to push it.
What we had, the reason it took so long is because we're having trouble. And we are not by any means sure how it's done. I believe you wrote the prediction yourself. And I believe you used some variation on a little thing that allows you to write in your hand secretly. And I think you're really, really good at it. Teller thinks you couldn't possibly be that good at using that gimmick. We both believe that the prediction went from your right pocket down your leg and loaded into the shoe.
I did not write it, I'll be honest about that. But I also did not cop it, and I did not use my pocket at all.
Did not use your pocket at all?
It never went down his leg.
Then you, sir, even more than we thought, have fooled us.
Yes!
Richard Bellars. He fooled them. You know what, Richard? Wouldn't it be awful if this was just another dream and you Richard, great work. Congratulations. Richard Bellars.
Welcome back. That's not a fancy filter, by the way. I'm just vaping. So that was the performance, and you'll notice in the performance, I'm not my usual self. I'm normally quite bubbly on stage. Good vape. I was fairly nervous, and I'll tell you why. Go right back to the beginning. There was a pilot of the show, which, how can I put this? I didn't even bother applying, because when someone says, "Oh, we're looking for a show, people for a show, we want you to Fooled Penn Teller," immediately I'm like, well, that's me out. And we're going to look for the best magician in the country. So I'm like, that's me out. So I kept sort of talking myself out of doing it. And I didn't think much of it. Look forward to watching it. When I got a phone call from the producers saying, look, we've seen some of your stuff online, on your website, on YouTube. Can you come down and do an audition? What? Okay, so I put together this really nice card thing that I've been doing a while. Real sort of fancy poker deal demonstration, and at the end of it I had like a little gag with a sort of modified Svengali deck. Remember I said that I went on to fool us with a Svengali deck, and the idea was that it was just a little gag at the end of the routine. But what I did not realise is that they would say, we really like you, we really like your style, but we haven't got time for this whole routine, so we want you just to do that bit at the end. What? You want me to go on to the telly in front of millions of people and try and Fooled Penn Teller with Svengali deck? No. So they basically said, look, that's the way it's going to be. You can either be on telly, get some exposure, or not. And I thought, why not? So I went on, and I was excited about it, but I knew for a fact I wasn't going to fall. And if you've seen I won't put it on my channel because it's just a bit embarrassing, but if you've seen it, you'll know that they just tore me apart. And I'll tell you why they tore me apart as much as they did. Despite the fact they were probably saying to me, don't try and fall off the Svengali deck. In the running order of filming, I went on after John Archer. Don't know if you saw John Archer, but he was amazing. He basically fooled them with a bank night, a routine they know, and they got fooled by it. And they didn't like the fact that the ex-policeman, who in fact is an amazing close-up magician, by the way, fooled them with a bank night routine. It's one of the, I love this routine, and he was the original, but I followed the first guy to ever fool them, so they weren't going to allow themselves to be fooled twice. So I got both barrels in the face, and I smiled my way through it. I just thought, I'll get myself across. Loads of phone calls afterwards, people saying, you're better than this, I've seen you work, why are you doing this trick? Well, there you go. The bitter thing of me would have been to say the producers, made me do that trick. So instead I said, the producers made me do that trick. It was their fault. Anyway, so that goes. I get ruined. Bellars made a star. John Archer's made a star. Ali Cook was amazing. And Michael Vincent was, well, Michael Vincent. Classics perfected. So it was a really high caliber set of people. And then I went on with Svengali deck. Bravo! Then we come to the series. Now on the series I'm thinking, I'm going to have a go at this time, and I'm going to give it some thought, and I'm going to put together a routine which is short, compact, it'll fit in the format, and might have a chance of fooling them. So I went down with this card routine. It was all sleight of hand, no gimmicks. It was basically like a selection and location with a blindfold, but really, really fair conditions. And then they told me that there was a guy called Daniel Madison who was doing a blindfold card routine. Daniel Madison's awesome. Okay, fine. Daniel Madison's better than me. Let's use his trick. So they basically said, we don't want to use you. Yeah. But on the spot, I decided to bluff it. I decided to come up with a trick that didn't exist. So I said, I've got this lovely confabulation routine. The idea you could say anything you want, any series of events can happen, and I'll have it written down in my shoe, predicted. And Angelo, who was the magical kind of consultant, said, oh, you mean you take your shoe off, there's a slip of paper, you switch it as you take it out and give it to them? I was like, no, it's in there. They can take it out. They can take my shoe off. And he was like, it's amazing, can you do it? I was like, no, it's in production, shall we say. It's not quite ready. It didn't exist. He said, okay, if you can film it, send it in to us, show us it works, we'll put you on the show. So I went out and I got a friend of mine, Adam Hoffman, and he just basically stooged the whole thing. He just said, this, which is already in my shoe, and it looked like it worked. And they said, you're on the show, and I said, oh man. So I had like 2 or 3 weeks max to get this stuff together. So I had to come up with a method, then get the prop made, and then just kind of do the staging of it in a couple of weeks, knowing I was going to go back onto Penn and Teller Fooled Us, having been crap the first time. So a load of pressure on this, and yeah, we come up with a method, and I say we, several people that came up with it, which I'll explain about in the next video, where I will show you the gimmick, show you the method, show you exactly how it was done. Unless this gets like 80 views, and then I'll just keep the secret to myself. Just share it out. Share the love, learn the secret. That's not like I'm bribing you to be on my channel. I'm just saying I'm not going to tell the world how it's done if nobody's listening. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, we get this done, right? So now I'm just in my head thinking, right, write some script. I've got the line somewhere on the little post-it notes, little record cards of sort of a rough script. But then what happens on the day of the filming? I go to rehearsal, Jonathan Ross is on stage, 2 stand-ins, and I'm like, right, let's do the trick. And with no audience, that trick really does fall quite flat. And then I fluffed it. I fluffed the trick. The one time I've ever performed it, I fluffed it. But they were like, I was like, don't worry, I know what happened, it's fine, I can fix that. We'll get it ready for the actual performance. Okay. But anyway, I got it. We went on, and I go backstage, and they're like, there's a guy on at the moment, he's just doing a performance, you're on next. So they get me all mic'd up. Now, John Archer was on before me, a beast. If you haven't seen John Archer, he's the only magician Darren Brown's ever hired. That'll tell you enough about John Archer. So, a guy called John, who's really funny, goes on before me. I fail miserably. He comes to the actual episode, the series. There's a guy called, might have heard of him, Piff the Magic Dragon. He was filming before me, so I'm backstage. He's on there destroying, and his name, if you don't know, is John Vanderput. So another really funny John is on stage, destroying everybody in a good way. Right before I go on. Fuck it, go for it. That's what I thought, just go for it. Went on, and you can see in the routine, I'm kind of like, I haven't got any rehearsed lines. It's all ad-libbed, it's all written off the cuff. I've got a few things that I've sort of written down. I bumble my way through this trick, get there, do the move, and we get it. We got it. We did it. It happened. We Fooled Penn Teller. So it was essentially a blag. And this goes back, the reason I'm telling this story, by the way, is because in Eduard Todor's, and if you're not following, again, I've said it before, the link's below, follow him, genius, lovely channel, really cool. He said, how do you Fooled Penn Teller? And he explained, and I'll try and summarise it as best I can, but essentially he was saying, you do not need to be the best at what you do to Fooled Penn Teller. Michael Vincent is the best at what he does. In terms of classics, I can't think of anybody who does them as well as Michael Vincent. And he had 2 goes and didn't fool them, because although he's doing the moves absolutely perfectly, they're moves that are classics, they're moves that are known. So Ed was saying that a guy could literally come up with a crazy idea, 2 days later, Fooled Penn Teller with no magic experience. Now I promise you, if you tune back in for the next video and I'll show you how this trick worked, every single one of you, magician or not, could have Fooled Penn Teller with this trick. It was the idea that fooled them. It was a creative way of thinking. I'm quite good at magic as well, though. Just saying. So he's right. It is about having an idea, being creative. There are exceptions. There are some people that are so good at what they do that even though you know what they're doing, you can't believe they're doing it. And the best example I can give you is Benjamin Earl. Ben Earl, he did for real what we all pretend to do. We all pretend to take cards like this, let's set the 2. We pretend to shuffle cards, we pretend to mix them up. And all we're doing, essentially, is not doing that thing that we say we're doing, right? So it's a thing. We know it's not there, even when you look, right? So it's kind of, gadget, one sec. Yeah, we know that we're doing full shuffles. He did a real shuffle, actual shuffle tracking. Actually, the things that we say in patter, Ben was doing for real. So there are some times when you're that good. But let me give you an example. There are levels of magician. I'll just do card magic. So you've got your amateur kind of knows a few card tricks, shows a few friends down the pub. Amateur. Nothing wrong with that. Good stuff. Then you've got your, I would say, your sort of professionals that do it very commercial kind of lots of packet tricks and so on and so on. Then you get your professionals, lots of sleight of hand, they're using doubles and palms and all that sort of stuff, and it's this good level of magic. Then you got your cardistry guys that do all that stuff that I can't do. They're up there. And then you got, in my opinion, your Vincents and your classics of magic that do them perfectly. Way up here, so we're going from here to here. I'm down here somewhere. Then you got your cardistry boys above me, and then you got these guys, and then somewhere up here is Benjamin Earl. I can't explain to you. He can take the best magic. In fact, the best way I can describe it is that in filming, Michael Vincent said to Ben, "You're the best card man I've ever seen." And if you know anything about Michael Vincent, you'll know how much of a compliment that is. All right. So that's what I'm saying. You can fool them with skill, but essentially it's going to be a creative idea or an angle that they haven't seen this trick come at from is what's going to fool them. And that's what fooled them for me. So I'm going to leave it here. In the next episode, I will go through entirely the gimmick, the method, how we built it. I'll show it to you. I've still got it. How I fooled Penn Teller. I will be no more clickbait. I will show you how I fooled Penn Teller. So for now, thanks very much for listening. That's the story that led up. Part 2 will be done over the weekend. We should drop that video sometime tomorrow. But like this, comment, and please share this out, guys, on your social media. Let's get it grooving. And tomorrow I will show you that wonderful, wonderful gimmick that fooled them. And then you'll realise how easy it was to do and that you could have all done it. In the meantime, I'll leave you with this. My favourite move that Ed asked to see, which is this beautiful move. Lovely job. Alright guys, thanks very much. See you soon. I can't say this, peace, because that's what it says, so I'm going to say big love and peace out.